I think there's a great deal of evidence that intelligence originally was quite modular, very much like a Swiss Army knife, where each blade, each part of the knife has a specific task to perform. The shaman probably pulled all of these factors together better than anybody else in the society.
All right, Carol, come on back now. Come on back to the booth here in the lab. It's time to be ending the session. You've been gone quite a while now. Come on back. That's better. I can see that you're back now. Very good. Well, welcome back. How was your experience?
Oh, wow. I started out from here, sort of floating up through the roof of this, through the ceiling, and I went up, out through the building, and I was looking at the building from up above. And then it was like I flew over the whole scenery here up to like a cabin that's up on the hill, and I was looking at the cabin from the outside. And then from there, I was out in this space. All of a sudden, I felt this being come close to me and couldn't really see it. I could just sort of feel this energy.
Carol's altered states encounter may help explain the origins of many ancient beliefs. In another age, it may have earned her a reputation for special powers, the ability to fly to a realm of spirits and gods and return with inspiration and ideas.
Flying dreams are sometimes associated with venturing to other realms and collecting information. And yet the dream imagery of flying may in fact be somewhat of a metaphor, somewhat of a symbol that we use to explain to ourselves the way in which we got the information. Now, this symbology may have been similarly placed in ancient times when people were seen to be dressed as birds.
The mark of the Birdman can be found amongst the remains of many great ancient cultures, including one that heralds the birth of a new era in human history. In Turkey, archaeologists study the oldest urban settlement yet discovered, Çatalhöyük.
I was inflow between the walls. Yeah, I saw that actually, a big area of inflow there.
Built 9,000 years ago, its honeycomb of mud brick houses sprawled over 30 acres. This site marks a turning point in human development, the dawn of civilization. Here we find the first evidence of organized agriculture, alongside traditional hunting and gathering.
So at this very, very important moment in human development, when they shift from a hunter-gatherer mobile way of life to a settled farming way of life, we get an insight into their beliefs, their ideas, their thoughts, their perceptions of the world. That's why perhaps Çatalhöyük holds the key to an understanding of this important shift in human history.
Project director Professor Ian Hodder says shamanic ritual played a central role in life at Çatalhöyük. Excavations reveal many of the houses were also used as shrine rooms. We can visit them today in virtual reality.
One entered them by going down a ladder into a chamber, and then one crawled through a small opening into a deeper chamber, and then through another small opening into a deeper chamber.
Professor Lewis Williams believes shamans associated the underworld of caves with their ability to fly. But at Çatalhöyük, he says they no longer relied on nature's launch pads. They built their own.
And the fact fact that these, in some ways, replicated caves and entrances to the underworld is perhaps confirmed by the fact that the people who made them actually got stalagmites and stalactites from caves some distance away, carried them down to Çatalhöyük and took them into the deep parts of the cave. So they were making their own caves above the earth.
In these rooms, researchers believe shamans performed their rituals, entered altered states of consciousness, and flew to the spirit realm. One of the beliefs to emerge from this culture was the concept of an afterlife. With permanent settlement and agriculture, the power of animal spirits diminished. They were gradually replaced with human spirits, the spirits of the dead.
Now that animals were domesticated, they lost their mystique, and instead there was more of a reliance on ancestors from the spirit world for help.
As the beliefs of the shamans changed, so would their altered states experiences. They buried the dead under platforms within the houses, and to communicate with their spirits, shamans now journeyed to a different realm, a realm in the skies above.
There is evidence that, that humans may have been dressing up as vultures. In one of the paintings, the vulture figures seem to have human legs. Our interpretation of the art is that what it's telling us about is sort of a mythical process of relationship with the ancestors, perhaps through flight and through birds who take flesh and who go to a higher world.
After experiencing the sensation of flight, shamans would describe it to their communities. Their extraordinary tales could explain how the afterlife became such a powerful belief in many ancient cultures, and the motivation behind some of the greatest architectural achievements of the ancient world. On the remote island of Orkney, north of Scotland, is the remains of an ancient village called Skara Brae. Built around 3100 BC, it was occupied for some 600 years. As at Çatalhöyük, it's thought shamans here believed they could commune with the dead. But at Skara Brae, shamanic flights to the afterlife were not launched from simple shrine rooms. On ancient Orkney, the people used launch pads of unprecedented sophistication. This grave, known as Maes Howe, is one of the finest structures of prehistoric Europe. Its simple grass covering hides a chamber built from a complex arrangement of stone. Orkney shamans are thought to have come here to receive inspiration and knowledge from the dead. One extraordinary feature of this site you cannot see, you can only feel.
Helmholtz resonance is the effect that you get when you blow across the neck of a bottle. So, and that's the same effect that we'd expect to get in a tomb like Maes Howe, with the column of air in the neck of the bottle being the column of air in the passage, and then the sort of volume of the bottle being the actual main chamber of the tomb.
Dave Keating and Aaron Watson from Reading University in England have come to measure the acoustic effects in Maes Howe. It's possible the Helmholtz resonance inside this passage grave could alter the consciousness of those within. and explain why ancient Europeans believed they could talk to the dead.